Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic night of Sci-Fi Vision presents Fandom Access. The Last of Us: Look for the Light. Tonight we are discussing the season finale, and by we I mean my two co-hosts if they eventually show up. So I hope everybody is ready. I know there's gonna be quite the conversation. And as soon as they get here, we'll get started. I knew Karen might be a little late. She just got back from her trip and was finishing up the finale. Oh, she just finished. She'll be here in a minute. Don't know where Jamie is yet, though. I'm sure she'll be along any moment. So that is that. Quite the episode. I know a lot of gamers weren't happy overall. But we'll get into that. Hopefully, Fletch shows up and some other gamers, and we'll get it all sorted out. Just wish I had a co-host because I don't know what else to talk about right now. I know. So I'll let everybody know. I'm going to be playing the game, or playing the game. I'm going to be watching the gameplay movie thing of season 1 to see the differences, and then I'm going to watch the second one because who knows? Season 3 is going to be a year and a half, 2 years. So. Anyway, yeah, so I'm kind of anxious to see that. I want to see what all the gamers are griping about. I don't know. I feel like I'm at a point, and I'll probably repeat this again when the girls get here, where I'm better able to separate myself from the IP and the adaptation. As a show overall, I think it's pretty damn good. Just from what I'm hearing from my son, Ellie is the problem, not Bella Ramsey. Bella Ramsey's not the problem. What they've done with Ellie is what's really pissing people off. And unfortunately, it seems, according to the internet, some people can't separate Bella Ramsey from Ellie, and that's a problem because you can't blame the actress for what the script is writing for her to do. You know. So, I mean, just because somebody plays a villain in a show doesn't make them an evil person. So, yeah. Oh, what else? I don't know how many other non-gamers at the end of the episode had this moment, but when they came out the door at the end of the episode and Jesse got shot, I went, "Holy shit!" Like audibly, very loudly in my living room. Did not see that coming, so that was a lot of fun. What would be really fun if I had co-hosts. Oh, goody, a co-host.
Sorry about that.
I was running out of shit to say.
Sorry about that. I apologize. There we go. We'll put up this present. Share screen. And we will share Lightroom. Sorry, everybody. Well, if you're here, welcome to Sci-Fi Vision. Yeah, sorry, I did not mean to be running late, but if you make sure that you like the video and subscribe to Sci-Fi Vision and check out all our content that is on our channel if you haven't, and make sure that you come back later tonight because at 11 o'clock AJ and I are going to be talking about the Librarians, the next chapter. And we'll be having a watch party. That's at 11. And then at 10 Eastern, we'll be having a watch party in Discord, which I am going to put the link to now. So if you haven't joined, make sure you do, because you can get a link to our schedule and everything. Why am my audio doubled? That's weird. Why is there two Jamies? Oh, okay. One's proof of that. Never mind. Figured it out. All right. So now that my brain is maybe back in the order.
This is why we all need to be here before the show starts.
Yeah, I was rushing. I kind of only half got to eat dinner. I was trying to get here, and I ate like half a dinner, and then I left, and I still kind of didn't make it. But so what did you think of the episode?
I liked it a lot. I was just saying before you came in, especially the end of the episode, I was like, I actually yelled, "Holy shit!" when Jesse got shot. So
yeah, I was really shocked that they left it on that kind of cliffhanger and kind of annoyed.
I'm not.
Did, but I get it. Like, I'm not surprised, I guess, that they did it that way.
Yeah, I'm not at all. I kind of felt like that's where how the season was going to end.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know game-wise. I just kind of thought it might too.
No, I didn't either. I felt like that was.
Yeah. I guess next season is going to be Abby's story. I just hope that they don't completely abandon Ellie's story next season, because I think that would not be good if they did.
Well, from what I understand, you kind of have to, because there's nothing of Ellie's story to tell. We're up to a point where they run into each other. So what else are you going to do with Ellie?
Really, there's nothing of
Think
Ellie
about
at all.
Think about it. Why would there be?
It depends if they're just going to show the other side of it. And if they show the other side of it, they could show some of her, I guess. I don't know. I just
show
think
what? What are you showing?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that they're going to show like Abby until Ellie gets there, but like they might see them along the way and they don't know it or something like that. I don't know. I just wonder if that's a mistake. I think so many people already got upset about Joel, and if they're going to take away the other main character for a whole season, I just don't know how well it will, go. Although I will say, I know that there's all these like clickbait posts about how, Last of Us lost half its viewers and all this. No, Last of Us did not get as many viewers as last season's finale. They got half as much as last season's finale, but they are still up in ratings and got a lot more season than
Wait.
That's what I had read.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Karen.
Hi, you guys. I'm back.
Hi.
Welcome
back.
That was the finale?
Yeah.
The 7th episode. Yeah.
You didn't realize that?
Convergence, the one that ends
that was the finale.
The one that ends with Abby day one?
Yeah, Karen gets her shock live.
Okay. I was mad that I was going to have a whole next episode focused on Abby. Now I got to wait like 2 years to get a whole next episode about Abby?
Oh, you're not getting just an episode about Abby. You're going to get a whole season about Abby.
Yeah,
is it going to be her season, you think? Do you know
Yeah.
that, or are you guessing that?
I don't know that, but based on what I know in the game that you play as Abby for quite a while. Once you get to that point in the point where it ended, where we saw that, then you play as Abby until she gets to that point.
Okay, so I have a couple things to say here.
Go for it.
I was like, when this so I just watched it. I just finished it. That's why I'm late, right? Because I had to catch up because I was someplace with no internet. And when it ended, I was like, oh, I'm just not interested in Abby. To me, they have not made Abby a compelling character that I'm interested in learning what she's been doing for the last three days, right? I mean, I don't even care what she's been doing for the last 5 years, which could probably be more interesting. But what she did for the last 3 days was just like be a wolf, be a jerk, plan to attack the scars or whatever, right? Like, I don't know what she did, but I just don't see how there's
that, but
I just don't see how I'm just not interested in her. They have not made her. I mean, she's such like the villain and the obstacle that Ellie has to get past. And I just don't really care what she's been doing at all. Now, I know there are people from the game that really like people who play the game. I think there are gamers who she's their favorite character, or they enjoyed playing with her, or in the game she was more interesting. And I know the game set her up differently. Like a lot of people were saying they shouldn't have. Like in the game, Ellie doesn't know it was Abby the way she does now, right? Or I don't know. Anyway, I'm just not interested in Abby. Like to have to see a whole episode about her or 3 whole episodes over 3 days, but to see a whole season about her, I'm really not. Should I trust these guys because I like what they've done so far? Maybe. But I don't know about you guys, not interested in Abby.
Yeah, I've said since the very beginning of the season, I don't think they did it in a way to make us empathetic towards Abby. And I know if they did it the way I suggest would have worked, it would have completely changed the story even more. So I understand that. But I think if they couldn't do that because they needed to keep to the story, then they should have done Ellie, Abby, Ellie, Abby, Ellie, Abby back and forth rather than all Ellie, all Abby, because I think that some people, granted, some people like me and like you just said, will you give them a chance? You'll probably give them a chance, see how they do. But some people may not. And I know they've already lost a lot of people because of Joel. And it's kind of like, okay, now you're taking away the other main character for a season. Yeah, I kind of have a problem with
their viewership went up after the second episode, actually, for the third episode. Whatever episode Joel died, the viewership actually went up the next episode.
Okay.
So I don't. Not that many people were upset about Joel. I don't think.
Well, I'm really sad that I missed last week's.
Ratings are misleading because you see all the clickbait everywhere else saying, "Oh, they lost viewership," and it's like talking about last season finale.
Well, does HBO release viewership in that way? I don't know.
Well,
unless it's HBO. Unless it's HBO saying our numbers went up, how would anybody even really know?
No. But I'm saying people are comparing the numbers this season finale to last season finale, which was huge, because people want to say they. And
I'm asking Jamie, what numbers are they comparing? Because unless HBO comes out and says what their numbers are, no one really knows what their numbers are.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not like a Nielsen rating evaluation service. It's just how many streams HBO says they got, right?
Yeah.
And most streamers don't really release those kind of numbers. So I don't know because
I've read that.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been in an internet blackout for the last 7 days. So I don't know. Maybe those numbers you're getting from HBO. Maybe
HBO I'm just saying I think people are using those numbers to be misleading. To say, they lost half their viewers, and they didn't lose half their viewers.
People on the internet trying to mislead you? What?
No, I know. I'm just saying that's kind of floating around there.
Exactly. They want clicks.
My understanding that they're still getting high ratings.
I'm very sorry then that I wasn't here last Thursday to talk about that excellent episode, and now I have to my discussion of this week's episode is diminished now, knowing that it was the season finale, and I'm not going to see Ellie maybe all of next season. Now I'm so disappointed. I'm going to have to try to get my episode hat back on and enjoy the parts that I enjoyed.
All right. Well, that's why I said I was 7 episodes. I mean, seeing how it ended, I understand what they wanted to do. They wanted to break it up into, I guess, kind of like chapters, because if it goes away, people think it's going to go, then we're going to Abby all next season. It's going to end where season 3 is going to end where season 2 ended, and then season 4 will be the aftermath and confrontation of all that. Which I get, because again, they're and that's the thing I was actually explaining to Artie, because I said the same things at some points. I was they could have gone back and forth and changed it up, going back and forth with Abby and Ellie. And I was remember, I said to him, how long did it take you to finish the second game? He's like, a couple days. I was like, exactly. It took you a couple days or a month or a week, whatever the fuck he said. I said, we've got to wait 2 years, maybe.
Yeah.
At least 2 years to get to the end of season 4, at least 2 years. We're probably looking at 4 years. The way things are going. If they're filming right now,
Is it renewed? Is it renewed for 3?
It's renewed for 4. They've confirmed
it's renewed for 4.
No, I think it's been renewed for 3 only officially, but I would be very surprised.
I read something the other day that they officially.
Okay, but they probably didn't even start writing yet, right?
Yeah,
See, that's what I don't know. I don't know where they are in the process. Unless they're filming right now, we're not going to see it until 2027.
I mean, except that the story is broken in a way that like a network show has to be broke. Like they've got the story. They've got like entire scenes that they'll lift from the iconic scenes from the game will be like they've got a good framework, but they still have to write scripts probably. Probably haven't started writing scripts. Yeah, it's gonna be at least a year and a half. It could be longer.
Yeah. So I mean,
like, can I sustain my love for a year and a half to 2 years on a cliffhanger that doesn't I know Ellie's not dead. I know Abby didn't kill Ellie. I mean, I'm assuming that gunshot was Dina busting in and shooting, and like Abby ducks, and we go on from there. Like, I don't. We know that Abby didn't kill Ellie, right?
right.
I mean, we know that. So the cliffhanger is kind of a non-cliffhanger. We know they're both. We know they both lived through whatever happened with that gunshot. So I've said that I'm not interested in Abby's last 3 days. I'm not interested, I don't think, in Arnold or the Wolves' last 3 days. Like, as much as I love Jeffrey Wright, they haven't made
Isaac?
Arnold a character that his name is Arnold, right?
Isaac.
Sorry. Who's Arnold? Was Arnold's name in Westworld? What was his name?
I don't know who Arnold is.
Oh, I don't remember.
Who did he play in Westworld? Bernard.
Bernard.
Isaac is not. I'm also not that interested in Isaac's last 3 days, and I don't think they set up Isaac to be a guy that I really am interested to know what he's up to, what his plan is. This war against the Seraphites, it's like a backdrop. Like in this episode when Tommy was like, "This is not our war. I'm not dying for them." I was kind of like, that makes sense to me 100%. He should go home, and I should also not have to watch
it. That's not how that works.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think if we had more, some of our regular commenters might pop in and say, "I'm wrong. I don't understand. There is a lot of good stuff coming."
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
Until we see it, we're not gonna know.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I did not get through the second rewatch because I ran out of time, but
what is that a picture of?
Hear what was supposed to be going on exactly on the radio? Was it just kind of their fight with the Seraphites?
In what scene? They were on the radio the entire episode.
In the very beginning, whenever Jesse is helping Dina with the arrow. I just wondered if I missed something because I was trying to go back to hear it.
I mean, I had watched with the closed captioning on, and I don't recall anything being that interesting coming over that radio.
All right. So the beginning is all Jesse pushing I guess it's not an arrow, it's a
crossbow bolt.
Yeah, crossbow bolt through her leg. And this is where he says, you have to push it through. You can't pull it out. And I did, by the way, actually watch the official podcast thing for this episode for once. I watched it the other day. I'm only mentioning that because I was thinking about how Craig was talking about like learning that
Craig who? Craig the creator?
Mason.
Okay.
You can't, if it's got a barb on it, you don't push it through. You have to, or you don't pull it out. You have to push it through.
Didn't you ever I guess you never got a fish hook in your hand when you were a kid.
No, I have not.
Sometimes you have to push it through. You can't pull it back.
Yeah. But that's the point of this. And she tells him, you can't, she says, "I can't die," is what she actually says.
And he says something like, "You're not going to die." And she goes, "No, you don't understand.
I can't die."
Right? She goes, "No, you don't. Just say you don't understand. I can't die.
And I can't drink."
Yeah. I mean, it was so obvious. Like Jesse would have to be a complete idiot to not catch on that she was pregnant, right?
Yeah.
How many friends have I outed? Have any of us outed when you're out with your friend and they're not having a drink and you're like, "Oh, what are you, pregnant?" And they're like, "Yes."
Yeah, because she will not take the whiskey. There's the bolt. So then Ellie comes back, and at least Jesse gave us one answer that told us where Shimmer was, that Shimmer's alive. That was good. I'm like, yes, Shimmer's fine. But he lets Ellie in, and she's freaking out, wants to go see Dina. And he tells her she's in the dressing room. And then this is one of the, I guess, I'd say the more emotional scenes in the episode, because she's, very caring for her when she comes back. And then Dina helps her by I guess this is supposed to be from the injury that just happened. I'm not sure how she has that.
Yeah,
many
it's from when
scrapes.
It's from
Yeah.
the fight with Nora.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I was gonna say she's been attacked by infected a couple times since she's last seen her. But anyway,
If you were watching that scene, I literally like just watch it. Clearly, some of those bruises are older and some are newer. So some of them are from before, but all the new stuff, I guess, is from the fight.
yeah, but it might even be from like the last few days when the infected were.
Yeah, some of them are older bruises. Yeah.
Which reminds me, and I didn't write it down because when I did the notes, but I remember when I watched it the first time, I wanted to comment on this. So I'm going to comment on it now. Do you know, like, she has a bite and she's not, like, she gives her arm to Dina and stuff and isn't worried about covering the bite. What was that? Because I thought about that when I was watching it. Like, I wonder if they just kind of forgot about the fact she had been bitten recently.
Oh, because she put her arm out. She should have a bite right here.
Yeah, she should have a bite on her arm. When I watched it, I was
yeah, because we saw that bite, right?
Yeah, it was the one that Dina knew about, but
but we saw it. It wasn't just like through the coat and there's no bite mark. We saw the bite mark, right?
Yeah, we saw it on her skin.
Yeah.
So this is the whole conversation about her saying, I found Nora and I made her talk, but I thought it would be hard and it was easy. So she's concerned that it was easy for her to torture Nora.
Is she concerned?
Well, she says she's concerned. I don't know that she's concerned enough, but she
never says I'm concerned.
She says she thought it would be. I don't know. To me, she seems kind of like
she's concerned, but she never says I'm concerned. She says I thought it would be harder. It was pretty easy. Dina says she got what she deserved, and Ellie says, but what if she didn't?
Yeah, I'm not sure that she's concerned she tortured her. I'm saying she seems to me concerned that it was so easy to torture her. Like, she seems affected by the fact it wasn't difficult for her, not by the fact to torture.
Which means it's going to make it easier.
Yeah, probably will continue to get easier for Ellie. But
I agree with you. I was just clarifying that she doesn't say she's concerned.
No, she doesn't.
Never articulates that. We have talked a lot in the past, or not a lot, but we have talked about like people who say Ellie enjoys violence, and so I thought she doesn't really necessarily seem to have enjoyed what she just did.
Yeah,
it came easy to her.
She seemed to enjoy it while she was doing it.
So maybe she's disgusted with herself that she enjoyed it.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like, these are rhetorical questions, right? That when you, I'm not asking you guys like for a definitive answer, but a lot of the audience has debated like whether Ellie enjoys violence. She certainly is. Violence seems to be a default response for her, right?
Yeah, I don't know that I'd say she enjoyed it. I know the producers have said she enjoys it, but that was also season 1 and it wasn't at this point. I feel like the further she goes, I don't know. I thought she was a little horrified that she wasn't affected by what she did as much as she should have been. That's why I said I'm not horrified that by what she did, but horrified that she wasn't affected by what she did. That's how
I took it as more of a statement than her. I didn't really feel that she had regrets.
Like when Dina says she got what she deserved and Ellie says, what if she didn't?
Yeah, to me, that's her questioning. Yeah, but maybe I shouldn't have done that,
Like what was Nora, did Nora not deserve that kind of to be tortured, right? I mean, Joel didn't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. Nobody deserves that, right?
Right.
It depends on the person.
Well, this is also leading into
no, please wait before you.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Is your next scene part of the scene, or are you moving on from this scene?
I was just going to go into the next part of their discussion.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say this is leading into the fact that she's like, maybe she didn't deserve it because this is why they came. And she proceeds to tell her everything that Joel did. And I think that Dina's pretty horrified when she finds out, not because of what Joel did, but more because Ellie kept it from her. Because it's not so much she says it, she's like, and I knew about it. And that is what hurt Dina. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna disagree. AJ, what do you think?
I actually agree with that. I don't think I don't think she was put off by what Joel did. I think she was upset with the fact that Ellie never told her.
AJ?
You hear me?
Yep. I heard you. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe she lost us.
I
Did you hear
didn't.
me?
I didn't catch it. I was spinning. You actually agree with Jamie?
Yeah, I think she was upset that Ellie didn't tell her, not by what Joel did.
Okay. I think that's ridiculous for Dina to expect that Ellie would have told her that, by the way, my father killed like 80 people to save me
80?
from being killed. Okay, 30? He
Okay.
killed every single person
Killed
in that
everybody.
hospital,
Let's
all the
support her.
doctors, all the nurses. We saw him kill we saw him kill at least
Actually,
20
we
people.
saw him not
He
kill two
didn't-
nurses. But
He didn't. No, he only killed the soldiers and the one doctor. He didn't kill the nurses.
I don't think he killed the nurses. But
Well,
regardless,
we are told by both Abby and Nora that he killed everyone in the hospital. Okay, and he killed Marlene. He killed a ton.
yeah,
He killed at least.
Marlene's
He killed
a
at
soldier.
least. All right, he killed at least a couple dozen people to save her because, first of all, she only told Dina that she was immune like 2 days ago. And Dina didn't say like, oh, you never told me you were immune. Wah. No, Dina understood why she didn't tell her that, right? I can't imagine why Dina would expect that Ellie would have told her unless she told Ellie to tell her 48 hours ago on day one, right? Like, there's no reason why you would say that. And she only found out 9 months ago and she's still processing it. I mean, for anybody to expect that Ellie would tell Dina that, I just really disagree.
I don't know that it's necessarily she expected her to tell it. I think it's just kind of she's hurt. It's the idea of you told me you weren't infected or you couldn't be infected, but you know that like I'm risking my life, my baby's life to stay here with you for this revenge, and you didn't explain to me why. That's kind of how I feel. Not necessarily that she said, oh, yeah, she should have told her, just that she's hurt. She didn't.
She didn't know she was pregnant until she was already on the way. She made that decision before she confirmed her pregnancy, right?
Well, she thought she was, but yeah.
Well, I don't think it's. I don't think the pregnancy.
I thought Dina was horrified at what Joel had done and was horrified at Ellie. And then Dina rolls over. I took it as Dina was like, I took it as Dina's having second thoughts about Ellie. Like this is what your father did, and you're like he killed all those people. I don't know. He killed all those people to save Ellie, and Ellie was mad at him. And I really think from last week's episode that Ellie's reasons for being mad were kind of like stupid. Like Ellie never said like, "Oh, I could have saved humanity." She said, "Oh, then my life would have meant something. Like you took that choice away from me, my life would have meant something." Like that's selfish. Like in this episode, Jesse says, "Everything you do for you." And to me, in last week's episode, Ellie expressed if she wanted to sacrifice her life to do the cure, it was for her, not for humanity. It was so my life would mean something. So I think for Ellie I just took it that Ellie was like really turned off by the whole Joel and Ellie family. And Dina was really turned off by the whole Joel and Ellie, both of them, and had to maybe think and digest that.
That's fair. I don't know. I just feel like she probably thought once Ellie did know that she was pregnant and that when she told her about the bite, she should have told her everything.
Really?
Because she is risking her baby's life, and she says, "I'm gonna
the baby
go on."
I don't think the baby has anything to do with any of this. I think Dina made the decision to come knowing she might be pregnant in the first place. You know,
right? But the reason
and she didn't decide, and she didn't decide to go home after she found out she was pregnant, even though Ellie was like, "You should leave. You shouldn't be here," and she's like, "No, we do this together."
No,
knowing that she's pregnant now.
But I guess what I'm saying is the reason she decided to stay was because she thought that Ellie deserved justice for what happened, but she didn't have all of the information. So to me, it's kind of like what she was told was based on a lie. She's like, I was willing to risk my life to do this, but I didn't know that there was reasons this happened. I don't know. That's how I look at it.
I think the reason Dina stayed is for Ellie, because Ellie's going to get killed if she stays by herself. And she stayed to help Ellie because Ellie's going to get killed. She didn't stay because she believes in the justice. I think Dina would have been fine if they never came out to seek justice. I also think, like, for
I disagree
Dina,
with that. Because I disagree because Dina said I loved him too.
Yes. And I was going to say, like, when like when Ellie does say in this episode he killed everyone. I think she says he killed. I think Ellie says he killed everyone in the hospital.
That, but they showed us back then. That
And I think, right, Jamie, please, Jamie, let me complete my thought. Jamie, I'm going to put you on mute. I'm putting you on.
You're freezing.
Mute because you keep interrupting me. I can't put you. I'm frozen.
That's why I said she mutes me and she's frozen.
I'm frozen. I can't do anything.
We can hear you though.
We can hear you.
I'm frozen. I can't do.
We can hear you. Finish your thought.
Oh, did you hear me?
Yes.
We heard you say you were frozen a few dozen times.
I was gonna say also, and it's like she has learned that her father and this guy that she loved murdered all these people. Like, I thought Dina was very like shocked, disappointed, had to really digest that the man that she saw probably as a father figure, definitely, and who she loved, has done this thing.
Yeah. I didn't mean that she wasn't horrified by that as well. I just feel like the reason she was so upset was because Ellie didn't tell her, or she was hurt that Ellie didn't tell her. Whether she thought that she should have told her is kind of irrelevant. I just think she was hurt by it. All right. So,
well, you can't. I'm hurt because you should have told me, but I don't think you should have told me. Look, we're all entitled to interpret that the way we want to. I have another question about this scene, you guys. Jamie, when we started talking about it, you mentioned it as being like the more emotional scene of the episode. This didn't hit for me. I did not feel like emotions about Ellie and Dina and their relationship and how they are. This was not their most there's not a word for like chemistry-ish. This was not their most that wasn't crackling off the screen for me. This didn't work for me in terms of being an emotional moment.
That's fair.
Did you guys did you guys feel like you saw the love and the whole like emotion of it?
Yeah, I didn't really.
I don't know that I was necessarily thinking about their love, but I saw the emotion of Dina being hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess I just wanted to see some people. So I didn't see any infected. I just wanted to see some more action, maybe. No infected in this episode.
Yeah. Either way, she rolled over.
The infected are boring after a while.
So then we get a lot of Jesse and Ellie going to the bookstore, and Ellie here somewhere. Let's see. She stopped. They're waiting for. Okay, that must be after this. Sorry.
They're waiting for
this. We skipped this. So Dina comes out and gives Ellie a bracelet for luck. So I guess that was kind of her way of saying I'm upset, but I still love you. I guess that was kind of how I took it. What did you think about that?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
You agree, Karen?
I guess. I mean, because the previous scene didn't really work for me on an emotional level, I didn't feel this either. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, we're making up. Oh, she still loves her. I just didn't really. Those two, they didn't work for me. I'm not sure. I mean, they did work for me when they first got together. I'm not sure it works for me now. Maybe, you know me, I'm like, stop wasting my time on the romance and move on. Like, I'm not big on like partnering up major characters in a show, right?
Yeah, I think it's funny though, because as we're talking about this, I'm wondering if this was sort of meant a little bit to parallel her and Joel. Not that what is happening to them is as big as what happened to her and Joel. I'm not saying that. But the whole thing with Ellie, like, I want to try to forgive you. It's like a peace offering. It's kind of the same thing she's doing. Like, I'm still upset. I'm still mad, but we'll eventually be okay.
I actually, for a minute, I thought it was going to be the watch. I don't know why Dina would have the watch and be giving it to her at that moment. But for a minute, I was like, is that Joel's watch? And then it was just a bracelet.
Doesn't Ellie have the watch? I think,
the watch was on her bed after the like funeral or whatever. Right?
I think Ellie has the watch. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why Dina would have it, but for just a second, because the watch is so meaningful, right? And she was mad at Joel, so maybe she wasn't wearing the watch for the last 9 months, but now she's not mad at Joel now that he's dead. I don't know. I was wrong.
Yeah. No, I think I see what you mean though, that maybe it was done that way. So they go off, and this is, I think, when they have their conversation that he figures out that okay, she asked about how he found her, and that's the thing about Shimmer that I'd mentioned earlier. But this is also where he tricks her into saying that Dina's pregnant because Ellie thinks he knows, because he pretty much has
That was
figured it
funny.
out. Yeah, that was
He's like,
funny. She's like,
"Oh,
oh, you
you
didn't really
guessed.
know. You just
You
guessed.
guessed."
Yeah.
That's pretty. That looks awesome. That was really cool.
Yeah.
So then they also see this sign again of the what was, I forget what they called her, the prophet or something to that
They
effect.
call her the prophet.
The
Yeah.
prophet. Okay. And she makes a comment about her looking different, which was
She
interesting.
says, there's two of them, right?
Yeah. I kind of wonder what that's about. But so they head into, and did I miss something about what the needles are? Because I took the screen capture because it was there and I don't know what it was about.
What am I looking at? Some grass?
No, they're needles. They're
I see hypodermic needles there.
Yeah, hypodermic. Well, they're also for insulin, but yeah, hypodermic needles. I'm just curious what that was about. Because I feel like they wouldn't have shown it unless there was a purpose, but I don't know.
I know there's a lot of trash around. I noticed there was a lot of in the later scene where they capture the. Okay, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, so I just was curious. Anyway, so they go into the garage and they see this guy, this Seraphite kid, is being attacked by I forget his name, but we know he's one of Isaac's people.
I think it's Burton. I think his name might be Burton.
That sounds right. That sounds right. And he is going to kill this kid, and she wants to stop him. Yeah, his name's Burton.
Ellie wants to stop him.
Ellie wants to stop him and save the kid. And Jesse stops her because, of course, Ellie, as usual, is not thinking right. And he says something like, there's 6 of them. There's 2 of us. You know, I'm not going to risk my life for this kid. It's not our war. And Ellie just kind of doesn't see that side of it. To her, it's like she needs to save him. He's innocent, I guess, is kind of how she sees it because he's a kid. And she's, you know, she's the one that usually people are attacking. So I guess, I don't know, she wants to help. But yeah, he stops her.
In this scene,
conversation.
In this scene, I was impressed with the number of trash bags of garbage. Either the wolves are taking out their trash to the dumpster for someone to pick up, or these bags have been sitting around for 20 years in perfect condition. No rats ever got into the trash in Seattle.
Maybe there's some big infected rats we don't know about. We'll see someday.
Yeah, it seems like the Seraphites or the wolves were taking out their trash. AJ, I've been talking a lot, but I really liked this scene a lot. I mean, I liked it. I liked Jesse's response in this scene. I liked him like calling Ellie out and putting her in her place a little bit. In the previous scene was when Jesse had said, Dina says she can't die. Well, now I'm having a kid, so I can't die. And thanks to you, Ellie, I'm out here probably going to get killed.
Yeah.
Ellie needs that, right?
Yeah, because now she sees a kid they're abandoning. So.
Well, and here he says, like,
it's not our war.
I think this might be, he says it's not our war. And I think in one of these 2 scenes is where he says, you're selfish. I know he says it later about Tommy, right? When he says, you're selfish. Everything you do for you.
Yeah.
Like,
which she does, to be fair.
I mean, AJ, what do you think about Ellie's instinct to save the young man?
I mean, it's a kid, so I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't think she's selfish here.
You know, no matter what, I think people just have that reaction when it's a kid. You know, so I think that's
fair.
What it was.
Fair, but I think also, like, Ellie never thinks anything through. She's just going to jump out behind the dumpster and start shooting. And Jesse said, there's 6 of them, 2 of us. We're not going to make it home. We have to save Tom. We have to save humans. Right? Like, this kid, she's 19, raised in the apocalypse, and she never thinks.
I think she thinks she's invincible because she's immune, and she's not. But I think sometimes she admits she's not.
And I do think teenagers think they're invincible, right? Like when I think of all the stupid shit I did that could get me killed when I was young, and AJ, you're probably lecturing your teenagers about doing stupid things all the time, right? Like they don't.
No, I don't lecture. I don't lecture them about it. I just tell them, listen, there's nothing you're going to think of that I haven't done or thought of.
Yeah. I once read this like sort of scientific article about how young people, how they say your brain isn't developed till you're like 24 or 26 or something. I read that young people are unable to evaluate risk the way older people are, and they can't calculate. And this article said it's the only reason we're able to move out of our parents' house, because if you could calculate when you're 19 what it means to move out, you just stay home.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yes, she's 19, and she does have a sense of for sure, AJ, that you don't kill kids. But I think she doesn't ever think.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely not.
And I think he's right. I mean, it would have been too risky. It could have gotten both of them killed just to save this kid that they don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but it's not what you want to do.
Yeah.
So then we have Costco.
Oh my God. How many times, you guys, have people said, oh, if the zombies come, I'm going to a Costco. Costco has everything. And now we see people really living in a Costco, having their HQ in a Costco.
Yeah. Well, this is a tent outside Costco, but yeah. So Isaac has a conversation with, what's her name? Elise Park. Her.
Oh, yeah. Commander Park,
Yeah.
Captain Park, whatever her name is.
Yeah, Captain Park. And she tells him that, and this is where we get the title from, that the storms is a convergence. I guess she at first was being sarcastic, because I'm pretty sure she said, hey, good news. So she must have been sarcastic. But she said that the storm's a convergence and going to get worse. But I think this whole episode is a convergence, and I think it just kind of parallels everything. Like everything is coming to a head. Everything's coming together to create a shitstorm, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything's converging on them, right?
Yeah. So I like that. But she's telling them that the officers are on board. And see, again, this is the part that we are missing of, is what is going on with this part of the battle that we don't know what's going on. But at the Seraphite village, but she's telling him that they haven't heard from Abby, and Owen and Mel are missing, and it's a bad night for that to happen. And he's like, why? And he's like, why on tonight? Tonight, why would this is like the worst night? And then she's like, we have Manny, and he's like, but he's not Abby. And then I think it's funny when she thinks he's in love with her. She's like, are you in love with her? Like, you creepy old man.
What do you think? What do you think that's about? Like.
I think we'll find out next season.
They do have other officers, and they do have other soldiers, and he is acting like she's like some kind of super soldier or something, and apparently she's kind of really not, right? Like,
right. Well, she's the de facto leader, but yeah.
Is she? He's the leader. Isaac is the leader, and
no, he has probably groomed her as being the next leader. He thinks that she should be the next leader.
I guess. I mean, so in that sense, Jamie, maybe it's similar to like what Jesse was saying, like he can't leave Wyoming because everybody expects him to be the next Maria.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what it is. And he's saying most of us are going to die, and the rest of the people here are going to be like, what the fuck do we do? Because they don't have a leader. Because he even says, I like his line where he says that, what's he say? Something like, regardless of their nickname of the army, that they're all sheep. Because he's saying they call themselves wolves.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
He's a total jerk. He's really a jerk, and like it's hard to understand like why people follow him.
Don't we say that a lot? But we don't. I mean, a lot of this is out of context, but not for nothing. We don't know that he's wrong.
Yeah, right, and I don't know that he'd say that to their face, because then they probably wouldn't follow.
Yeah.
But anyway. He's like, it was supposed to be Abby, and she's basically like, well, she's not here, so maybe she wasn't the one who was supposed to lead. She's gonna like find somebody else. So yeah, she doesn't have too much concern over it. So then we get to the library. Then we get to the library, or not the library, the bookstore.
Bookstore.
I'm thinking about tonight. The bookstore.
And this is where they're supposed to meet Tommy. This is the rendezvous, right?
Yes, but Tommy isn't there. So they've decided to wait, although Ellie kind of questions, like, shouldn't we go after him? And he's like, no, he'll be here, and we just wait. And then of course the Alice in Wonderland, at least I'm assuming it's from Alice in Wonderland since it's in an Alice in Wonderland picture, but it says, everything's got a moral if only we can find it. And obviously this whole show is about finding that moral and Ellie finding that moral part of her that she can't.
Yeah.
And then she looks through the books, the kids' books, and picks one out, which is the monster is at the end of.
Oh my God. I got so excited. I love that book. I love that book. I've read it to all the kids, and I do the Grover voice, and it is such a great book. It is so much fun.
Well, I think it might also be saying that the monster at the end of because I know it's supposed to be like that I guess he's the monster when he's telling the story. I don't know. But I think part of that is saying that, Ellie thinks she's the hero of the story, but maybe not, and that she's kind of the monster.
I mean, it's an interesting choice. All of these are because Ellie could not possibly know what Sesame Street was or who Grover is, but she's drawn to like this book. Look, Grover's great. Grover's one of my favorite Muppets, and it is kind of great that she. And I guess Jamie, where you're going with this is the scene where Jesse's like, "Oh, I wish I thought of that."
Yeah. It's interesting that Ellie's the one that thought to get the book.
Well, she saw the sign that said "Read to your baby."
Oh, okay.
The sign right next to the stand says "Read to baby." It says, and it's I guess it's about reading to your unborn baby, right, or your newborn baby. I don't know.
Well, she thinks about it and she takes the book. I kind of wonder if that was a little bit of foreshadowing, though, like that she's the one that took the book because he's not going to be there. I'm just thinking that now as I'm looking at this.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting that he says this, and yet he doesn't go back to get something for his own child. Because
to be fair, he has to like save everyone. Like Jesse is like in a bad situation. You're going to carry a book around. He's got a lot on his mind, and Ellie is a major pain in his ass, making everything worse every minute of the day. Right.
At any rate, I think it's interesting that she takes the book and keeps
also
it.
Like he's going to be like, "Oh, I got you a book too," right? Like, I actually thought when he said, "Oh, I wish I thought of that," I actually thought Ellie might say, "Here, you give it to her." And that would be like
Ellie's not selfless enough.
She's not, but that would be the nice thing to do, right? But you're right.
Yeah, that would be the nice thing to do. Or she could even say, "We'll give them to her," but she doesn't. So they sit down, and this is where he kind of makes his confession. I mean, I'd call it a confession. Because he says something like he wants to get it out in the open. He knows that Ellie loves.
She says it. Yeah. She says, "Let's get it out in the open."
Oh, I thought he did. I don't know. I might have had it from captions, but either way,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
No, I don't know. But he says that, I love Dina, but not like you do. So he knows that Ellie's in love with her, and he's basically saying, "That's okay. I'm really in love with this other person, and I finally am admitting this." I guess is kind of the gist of that. And he tells a story about how this woman from Alberta came down to Jackson selling paintings, and that he wanted her to stay, but she wouldn't, and told him to come with her. And he really wanted to, and he would have, but he didn't because he has a responsibility to the town and to the people that took him in, and he's going to be the next Maria. So
and
yeah,
we also found out that he voted. We also find out that he voted no.
Yeah, we do find that out.
I suspected all along.
Yeah, I did too. But the idea is this is the first point of him trying to drive home that he puts other people first, which is what Ellie does not do.
Yeah, and I took it a little differently, Jamie, when you say it's his like confession. And AJ, I don't know I'd like to hear how you took it also, but he tells the story when he says, I love you. I love her, but not the way you do. And he tells the story. And I thought kind of the point was he's like the best 2 weeks of my life, that feeling when you're falling for someone and they're falling right back. I think he was saying, "Ellie, I know how you two feel, and it's okay with me. Like, I get it. Like, you two are the real deal. Dean and I are not. I had somebody that, and then he's going on to say how he sacrificed his possibly a great love, possibly a great future. He sacrificed that for the town, right? But I took it a little more, not like I'm confessing I cheated on Dina, but more like I know how you feel, and it's real. This is how it feels when it's real.
You
Well, I'm
saying
guessing
that
him and
though,
Dina.
you think he's kind of saying, because I hadn't thought about it that way, but now it kind of makes me wonder, do you think he's saying like she should be with me, it's my baby, you should be willing to give up her like I gave up this
No,
woman?
no,
I
that's
don't
not what he was
think
saying
that-
at all.
No.
It made me think
No,
about it.
he was saying I get it. He was, that's what his thing was. He
I
was
think
saying he gets their love because he's been in that type of love.
Yeah, which he
And
wasn't with.
and I think he's saying it's okay for you to be together. Like, I'm going to be the baby's father, but it's like,
Yeah.
I know how you feel. It's real. I'm not mad at you and Dina for getting together.
Yeah.
Right.
And
When
this
it's real,
is
it's real.
where Ellie says, he says that I was taught to put people first. And she says, because she asked why he didn't leave. And then this starts their argument of, she's like, so you're St. Jesse and everybody else is an asshole, because she does say, well, because she makes a point of after saying
Well,
that
yeah.
you think you're better than me because you choose the community over the, the person you love or whatever, that you're putting them first. But she's saying, and this is a little bit later, but she's saying, he was my community, that doesn't make you better because of that. I'm putting everything because he was that to me. Like, she's trying to explain to him in that point, that's her community. That's who she protects. And that it doesn't make him better just because he's saying, oh, I'm not going to do this for whatever reason.
And that's where Ellie is like all over the place, because she's like, oh, you're not better than me because you choose the community. I saw my community beaten to death. My community. But she doesn't want to, like, for Joel, he chose his community, which is him and Ellie, right? Like, she's so mad at Joel, and like, I don't know if I can forgive Joel for what he did, but Joel chose his community, and it's wrong. I mean, Joel didn't choose his community. She didn't choose her community. They both made a selfish decision, and she's trying to justify to Jesse, and it's not at all the same. Jesse does put other people first. Joel and Ellie do not. Like, all through season 1, there were many times where Joel didn't want to intervene or get involved with other people, and he only had to because, like, shit went sideways, right? Joel never was like, oh, let's save these 2 boys from crazy Kansas City lady. Or, let's he going back to Tess in season 1 saying Joel and I are not good people.
Yeah.
So for Ellie to say my community, I'm doing this because I chose my community, Joel. But yet when Joel, if that's the way Ellie, if I'm Ellie, didn't Joel do the same thing?
Yeah, and you were mad at him for it. That's a good point. Yeah.
But she's wrong. She's wrong. Like, she doesn't put the community first.
Well, no, she's just trying to say that her community is only Joel. And I agree with you. I think she's kind of trying to justify her saying that I'm willing to risk anybody's life for this because he's what's important. And it's one person and he's dead. These people are alive and they need them. Tommy needs them. So yeah, I agree with you. I think she's trying to justify it.
Yeah, the town is now without Jesse and Tommy.
Yeah.
It's a matter of perspective.
Although he's right too, though. If he went with those people, because he does say, if I went with them, who would have saved your ass? So
That's funny.
He's not wrong. So they see, she sees the Ferris wheel and she sees the aquarium. And we hadn't mentioned earlier, she does tell Dina that the only words she got from Nora before she beat her to almost death, I guess she didn't kill her, was wheel.
No, she let her turn. She's like, she was infected.
Yeah, was wheel and whale. So she thinks she is in the aquarium. And this is where they think that Tommy's down there because somebody's a sniper, which it doesn't mean it's him.
By the way, I'm going to Seattle next month, and I'm very excited to look and see if this really looks like the aquarium and the Ferris wheel.
Oh, that's cool. But this kind of makes me think of like Joel, although they sort of changed it with what he said, but Joel not really knowing if they could even save the world and putting Ellie first. It's kind of the same thing. And a little bit that she's kind of like, well, it's like the opposite, I guess, not the same, but saying like, well, you don't know if that's really him anyway. Like, this is what's important.
Oh, that was so wrong. That was. Do you guys agree or disagree with Ellie in that situation?
Yeah, I think she's wrong. She's, as usual, selfish. They should have saved Tommy. She could have went after her after. I'm not saying she had to give up. I'm just saying they should have rescued Tommy first.
AJ?
I think it's who Ellie is. She's always gonna do what Ellie's gonna do.
Yeah. And like,
However, she does have a little bit of a point. How do they know it's Tommy? It could be a Seraphite that picked up a gun. I'm just saying.
I mean, it could be. They don't use guns.
It's probably Tommy. Yeah. Is it Tommy? Probably. But she does have a slight point.
Probably should have done, especially because they're calling in reinforcements, is she probably should have made sure that Tommy and Dina and Jesse were safe, then gone. But that isn't gonna happen.
I mean, it probably is Tommy. And wouldn't Joel want Tommy to live? Tommy has a child, right? Tommy has a son.
But Tommy would want me to. But yeah, you're right. Tommy may want her to, but Joel would have wanted her to go help him.
Joel would have wanted her to save Tommy rather than go on a vengeance quest after Abby, for sure, right?
Yeah.
It was really very selfish, and you know, Jesse saying you do what you do for you. I mean, he's right. She's very now. Granted, she was raised in a federal school, and then by Joel, who has definitely been a lookout for number one kind of guy, even from episode 1, where I'm not saying Joel was wrong, but in episode 1 where the outbreak happens and Sarah's like, what about the neighbors? What about those people that have a kid? Like every step of their flight, Sarah says a couple times, like, I think Sarah or Tommy says, we have a kid. And Joel says, we have a kid too. Right? That's when they pass some people who need help. And Joel says,
Tommy said that they have a kid.
And Joel says, we have a kid too. And Joel has always been like, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm not saying the father's wrong for looking out for his own child first, right? But this is the person who raised Ellie. So she's very I thought she was wrong, yes. Yeah. And also Jesse could be killed if he goes after by himself. Like the number one rule, you know, in last week's episode, it was emphasized again, the number one rule of patrol is never leave your partner.
Yeah. And the thing is that they had to leave Dina alone as it is. If something happens to Jesse, what happens to Dina? Yeah. Not even thinking about Dina in this case.
Yeah.
And this is where she's like, well, if I just had a couple more votes, you would have been going with me anyway, because they would have agreed with me. And then he's like, no, I didn't vote that way. And I think this was, I'm assuming in the behind the scenes that the whole was Maria's vote, I'm guessing, because they had said that Maria actually voted for Ellie.
Maria actually voted yes?
Yeah. So I'm guessing that was where that vote was.
Well, they had 3 yeses. So if Maria and Tommy didn't vote yes, I don't know who that, I don't know who the third person is, but could you imagine it being just Tommy and 2 other people who voted yes? I wouldn't even know who those other 2 people were. I think they did 3 votes.
Well, no, I mean, it's Tommy and Maria.
Well, no, my point, but my point is they did it that way. So then when Jesse said, because we automatically assume Tommy, Maria, and Jesse. Yeah. When Jesse says, I voted no, you're like, that's why it's like, oh shit. If they had just done 2, you already know Tommy voted, or what, you already know that Jesse probably voted no.
Yeah.
Yeah. And go off regardless of what happens, and leave Dina potentially without anybody to take care of her.
Yeah. So I thought these shots looked pretty decent. So I don't know about special effects. I don't do special effects. I have read that water is one of the most difficult special effects to make realistic. Water and animal fur, they say. But I've read that water can be really hard. And so I thought they did a pretty good job with the water throughout this episode.
Yeah. Well, some of it they filmed in the water. So
they did.
Yeah.
You watched it?
They filmed some of it in the real water, and they also had a tank. They talked about it on the. I take it you don't watch the things that are after. Oh, you didn't.
I didn't have time today. Yeah.
But no, the little clip. Yeah, they talked about filming how.
So this could be a real shot, and then it's digitally enhanced to be.
Yeah, like probably those buildings aren't like that, and there aren't like the
like the aquarium is not dilapidated.
Yeah, and I doubt that there's that kind of movement in the water, but
yeah. But I thought it all looked pretty good, the water effects throughout this. And sometimes when I see water, it's so dark.
Like digital too.
And this was at night. Yeah. And this was at night, and I could actually see what was going on, which, I complain all the time about stuff at night that I'm like, what the hell am I looking at? X-Files, Game of Thrones. I mean, X-Files is a very old show, but right.
Yeah. I hate they, it stinks. I really liked last season because I'm going to buy oh, it's fireworks. I'm like, what is that outside my window? I'll probably buy the 4K DVDs when they come out. I liked how last season I got to watch them in 4K because we get Max because of AT&T, our cell phone company. And as much as they grandfathered you into keeping the TV plan that they don't offer now, they took away the 4K plan. They gave everybody the shit plan.
Wow.
So I'm like, I want to see the better quality. I'm always big on effects and like trying to see details and shit. So
Yeah.
I think it's funny. I know you guys don't care. That's just me. I'm just saying that's me. I'm the person who wants to see it the best I can.
All right.
So that's their fight, and then she's left alone. And then Dina, I think they just show that she's back.
We just show some shots of her alone. She's not really a factor.
Yeah. Now some of these are really dark, and I don't know how much you can see. But so she sees a boat, and she gets this brilliant idea. She's going to take the boat, and how she thinks that when there's open water, she's going to get across on a boat, and none of these people are going to notice her. I'm not sure that plan's great, but nobody notices her, so I guess it worked.
I was kind of thinking about that myself because they've been living in Wyoming, and I was like, wait, how is she going to go across? Like, where did she learn to I would be scared to take a boat across open water like that. Like, look, I was just kayaking, and I had to go across like a small river and have to be careful of that. And she's going to go in the night, and I was like, she's from Wyoming. And then I thought, well, okay, she went to Fedra school. Boston's on the Charles River. Could she have? And then I was like, whatever, Karen, it's a show. She learned to drive a boat somewhere.
No,
Get over it, right?
And it's Ellie, so.
Yeah, the funny thing is, yes, again, she thinks she can do anything. She's reckless. But the funny thing is, we know she can't swim because I forgot about that. I was thinking she mentioned that last season. So, yeah she would have been really screwed if she fell in the water. But, well, apparently she can swim on the land, which really she didn't even freak out for being scared of swimming. But she gets out and she's grabbed by, Seraphite people who do not give a shit that she isn't one of the wolves. They're going to kill her anyway.
Well, I don't think they believed her that she wasn't one of the wolves.
No, I don't think they did either.
I mean, if they caught me, the first thing I'd say is like, I'm not a wolf, right? Like,
I guess I would be like, I believe in her. I'll convert.
Yeah. Well, the last guy who said that they killed anyway, right? The last guy who said, I'll convert.
Yeah.
They were like, whatever, you're dead.
Well, I think they tortured him first, but
no, they hung that guy. Remember that guy was like, I'll convert.
Right. But I had assumed they had tortured
and they
him.
hung him and disemboweled him. What was really frightening was that she's like, I'm not one of them. Tell them. I don't know why that little kid would know, but the kid just goes and makes the motion. And the kid, it's kind of scary that a little kid is like, like disembowel her and hang her, right?
Yeah. The only thing I can think is she was meaning like I came on that boat going the opposite direction of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I can think, because you're right. Why that kid would know shit is beyond me, unless she just figured it was a kid and that they would stick up for her, kind of like how she tried to stick up for their kid, which is the irony there, that she wanted to save that kid and they don't do the same. So
yeah, they don't care.
Yeah. So she almost gets choked, and then she does get away eventually and grabs the gun because they hear something in the village happening, and they're just like, leave her, and they run.
That reminds me. I actually.
Sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say, it's like Ellie almost died. You would think a normal person would be like, okay, I just barely survived that, so I think I'm going to turn back. Not Ellie.
Yeah.
No.
I was going to say, actually, I knew Ellie couldn't drive a boat because when a wave is coming, you should go into the wave and up and over it. And she turns sideways along the wave, and that's why she gets swamped, right?
I didn't know that.
She actually, if a big wave is coming, you should try to drive into it and up and over it, or even like through it. But if you go sideways, that's when your boat gets flipped.
I see. Good to know. Muncher apparently did not like it, like this season.
Hi, Muncher.
After watching this series, like the showrunners took advantage of me. I want my time back. This is what I think. It's like there is such a divide among viewers on this show, because the people that don't like it definitely don't like it, like at all.
Yeah, I mean, correct me.
Other people are good with it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I've been gone for 2 weeks, but I think Muncher has not been a fan of the season in general. Like it's not this episode. Muncher's a Muncher, I think you're a gamer and you just have really not watched the season. The series.
It's
You're
not like
yeah. I mean, you say like Muncher says Muncher Lunch says I feel better for watching the series.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
kind of
I think you're not in the
assuming-
US. In the US, we call it a season, and several seasons together are a series. But people in like England and Australia call each what we call a season is a series, right? So
Yeah,
I don't know if Muncher Luncher hated both years or just this year, but I think ML has not been loving this for a while this year, right?
Yeah. I think most people like the first season, but I think that's because they stuck so close to the original.
I mean, I
Well,
agree.
you know,
Go ahead.
I've been having this conversation with Artie a lot lately, and it's not just this. And I'm not surprised that they've deviated, and I'm not surprised the gamers are upset. You know, I think the best way Artie and I have come to a conclusion is the show itself is still good, but it's a bad adaptation. And us not knowing what they're adapting, it's still good to us.
We don't
And
know.
the gamers, you know, we've gotten to a point in our lives where we can, for the most part, separate the IP from the adaptation. You know, we like Interview with the Vampire. Do I have some issues with it still? Yeah, I'm still waiting to see how something plays out. There's certain things that I wish they hadn't done, but I'm separating from the book because the book is the book. I always have the book. You know, this is a different version of, you know, it's somebody's adaptation of that book. This is somebody's adaptation of the video game. I know some of it is Neil Druckmann. He wanted, you know, kind of like what
Kirkman.
Thank you. You know where I was going. What Kirkman did, there were certain things Kirkman regretted doing in the comic book, like cutting off Rick's hand. They didn't cut off his hand in the show because Kirkman was like, "Can we change that, please?" Druckmann has certain leeway with this too, where they've done certain things that he wanted to change or embellish on. I think the number one thing I've been getting from the gamer community is expand, don't change, which I think is a very valid, like the at Jackson, the Horde, that's not in the game. You know, the council meeting, that's not in the game.
Yeah, most people.
You know,
like
these are things that added that people enjoyed. Their problems are the severe changes that are happening in season 2. But name one thing that we've watched ever where after season 1's amazing, so close to the IP, and then season 2 went boom right off to the left.
I mean, I'd say The Walking Dead season 2 was decently close to the IP. Decent. You didn't stop watching The Walking Dead.
It was decent. It was I didn't even stop watching because they veered off. I stopped watching for other reasons, but it was pretty close.
I mean, I feel like maybe I'm really enjoying my $50 bottle of champagne because I've never tasted the $100 bottle of champagne that Artie and Muncher Luncher have enjoyed.
There you go.
So
that's a fair way to look at it. I wish Michael had showed up. I thought Michael was going to come because we were chatting after the finale. Like, he's a gamer, but he likes it.
Muncher Luncher
positive on the
if you're still listening, ML, I'd love for you to put in the chat, like, what's your number one thing that you didn't like after seeing the whole thing? I know a lot of people don't like that. Okay, I'm not saying one specific incident, like, oh, they didn't send Tommy with Ellie, they sent Dina. I mean, like, is it the changes? Is it not? I don't know. I'd love to hear in a short sentence or two what it is that, looking back, you don't like, so we can talk about it because we don't really.
Yeah, it's hard without us having seen.
You know, and that's what my experiment is going to be. Because I mean, like, again, we don't know when we're getting the show back, so I'm going to watch that movie on YouTube that somebody put together of all the cutscenes and everything, and I want to see how I feel after that, and if I can separate myself between the show and the game.
I don't want to watch it because I don't want to spoil what might be coming.
I was going to say, I'll probably watch it up to this point.
See, I look at it this way: if I watch it, might be spoiled for the show, but I won't be spoiled in general. You know what I mean? Like, I'll know that it's coming on the show, but I'll have already seen it. It's not like reading a book and knowing what's coming. It's a different, thought process, at least for me.
All right, so Ellie gets back in this little boat, and she
Yep.
starts up the engine, which amazingly still works, and she's on her way. And
Yeah.
wait.
I didn't
You know, a
think it-
picture of as she's leaving, there are massive explosions. The wolves are attacking the village.
Okay, I didn't see that.
And
That's okay.
actually-
No, you didn't cap it. That's fine. You only watched it once. You didn't.
I want to ask you guys about something. How did you feel about that scene though, with them hanging her up, and the only reason she lived was because they started attacking the village?
Like, basically, the wolf saved her.
Yeah, like you know, and not even from that aspect, but like, just it was just like it felt like I felt kind of cheated in that scene.
Yeah. It
You
was
know?
like Deus Ex Machina, right? Like, this thing happens, like, from out of the blue that saves her, and she really should
Right.
be dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
was way
it
too
kind
close.
of it felt I felt a little
It's
cheated
harder.
on it. Like, I don't know, I just felt like it was too easy. Like I
Yeah.
almost felt like, what was the point of that even happening?
Yes.
It was that simple for her to get away.
Yeah.
And if she's not gonna actually speak to the Seraphites and understand them, and maybe like be like, no, I came to get, like, she has no conversation with them. Like, I guess what's really so I think the Seraphites are the weakest part of the season, partly because just because they gave us nothing. We haven't seen anything, and what is the point of them? And if Ellie was very sympathetic to that young man who was going to be killed and wanted to save him, right? And then she runs into them and they try to kill her. And I don't really know if that's the point, that she was sympathetic. They are not. They're going to kill her anyway, or I don't know. What is the point if she's never going to talk to them? If they're never going to, like, they're just a very backdroppy kind of a thing right now, right? And
I feel like
I know people in the game like them, but I don't know.
AJ really articulated, like, what was the point of that scene? What was the point of that scene? Except that Ellie shouldn't go by herself? I don't know, right? That was a pointless scene.
I feel like the Seraphites, the point of the Seraphites this season might just be an introduction. Like, I feel like they're going to be much more seen next season when we see Abby's story.
Yeah, we're going to learn why they hate them. I mean, I guess there's a point that Jesse had said, this is not our war. And here she is blundering into the war.
Yeah.
But it was kind of dumb. It was like, you know, it was 5 minutes that didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't even 5 minutes, I don't think. It happened so it happened so quick. I was just like, well, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so we're back in the boat.
Yeah, sorry. I went back because I hate to leave it on a picture you can't see.
It's okay. Oh, yeah, it's a terrible picture to leave it on.
Yeah, so she went to the aquarium, and I guess that's supposed to show you. I don't know if that's supposed to tell you. I didn't realize Mel was like a doctor. I don't know if that was supposed to show you that she was helping people, or if there was any point to that.
I just took it that there's some sort of medical unit there.
We knew that because during the scenes with Joel before they killed him,
yeah,
she was their doctor.
And they were saying Abby's at whatever the code word was, get them to Abby, right? Yeah, that would happen a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Injured people were to be taken to Abby. Yeah. Okay, so
that's Mel. Now you confuse me more.
I thought in this shot that Jamie you have, I thought Ellie is not very good at sneaking around. She's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Not so much, but she comes upon.
Well, she snuck up on them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she did.
Owen and Mel.
Owen and Mel.
And
I love every time somebody from like episode 1 sees Ellie, they're like, holy shit, it's you. Like, they all can't believe, like, they went on a vengeance mission and they're totally shocked that someone's come to
do the same thing.
Right? Well, you know what it is though? But think about it. Think about how quickly she found them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
compared
only
to their 5-year journey.
Yeah.
And that's true. It only took her a couple months. She was
and they went and they were a group of like 6. She's one person that they keep seeing.
And she found them in like 4 months. And it only took 4 months because she was in the hospital for 3 months.
Yeah. That's funny. So she's like, tell me where Abby is. And she uses Joel's map trick. She's like, you're both going to point to a place on the map and they better match.
I love that.
That was a great callback. I like that a lot.
He did learn something from Joel. And this is where
Owen says, I let you live.
Yeah.
When he realizes it's her.
Yeah. And Mel didn't want to hurt them either. So to be fair, these are the two better of the people. And he says to Mel that she's going to kill us anyway. And Ellie says, no, I'm not like you. Now, I personally, and I think this is one of the things we're going to argue about, but I think she would have let them live if they told her where Abby was.
Oh, I don't.
Not at all.
No. Okay.
She was lying.
Remember,
Ellie's a liar.
After what happened with Nora, I think that, I don't know. I think if they helped her, she would have maybe tied him up, but I don't know that she would have done what, killed them.
I think if she lets them live, they're immediately like, boop, boop, hey, Abby, that psycho chick is here, right?
Well, that's why I said maybe she ties him up. I don't know.
And I also think it's like a callback to when Joel said, like, I won't kill Eugene, and then he did kill Eugene. And I think it's a callback to Gail when Joel went to speak to Gail. Was it Joel? Tommy went to speak to Gail about Ellie. Which one of them? And Gail says she's a liar. Yeah. Ellie's a liar. She's a liar.
I guess I more believe that Ellie believed it. Like, would she in the end have to have killed him so they didn't tell Abby? Probably. But I think that in that moment, I feel Ellie was telling the truth and didn't intend to kill them. Whether she would have is kind of irrelevant, but I think she was felt at least that she wouldn't.
Oh, I don't know. She had no intention of letting them live.
I mean, on the one hand,
the only reason she didn't kill Nora was because she was infected. If Nora wasn't infected, she would have finished her off. Yeah.
I mean, letting her be infected is almost worse. Like letting her lie there in abject pain, in total torturous. She tortured her, broke her legs. She's in pain, letting her lie there until she changes is kind of mean, right?
It's more than kind of mean.
Yeah, it's very mean. Yeah, it's horrible. It's cruel. But I think, so Jamie, on the one hand, did Ellie believe it in that instant that she said it? Because she wants to be the better person, maybe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. On the other hand, I think that she's a liar. Joel has lied for reasons. She's seen that. And I think she was going to have to kill them. And I think maybe torturing Nora was maybe an evolution for her. And she realized how easy it was. And her vengeance is all consuming, right? She's so she was always going to kill them.
These two really didn't want to kill Joel, though. They didn't kill
him. Doesn't matter. No.
Out of all of them, these were the more innocent of the group.
None of them are innocent.
I mean, would she have to have killed them in the end? Probably. But I just feel like she at least thought in that moment she was going to let him go. She probably wouldn't have. But,
Jamie, you're right. When we saw them,
though.
Yeah.
What have we seen that Ellie has done that makes you think that she would have let them live?
Nothing. She wouldn't let them live. I mean, I do think Jamie's right that they didn't want to kill Joel because we saw the group with Abby before Ellie showed up, and they were like a little bit. They kind of didn't even really want to go on this 5-year mission,
right?
But they did, and they didn't want to kill him. But when Ellie showed up, they didn't say stop. That's his daughter. Don't torture me. They just were like, don't kill the kid, right? They saved Ellie, but they really didn't intervene. And I wonder why. Would Abby kill them if they tried to stop her? Why wouldn't they intervene? Why didn't they ever do more than a half-assed attempt to save Abby, to stop Abby? Maybe we're going to find out in the next.
That's fair. And I guess I'm just hopeful that maybe Abby's learned or Ellie's learned something, but I don't know.
I don't think this is that show.
Probably not. But at any rate, he goes for the gun, which I don't know. I think was a dumb move. But then again, he's going to die anyway. I guess it really didn't matter. But when he does that, he obviously gets shot, and it goes all the way through him into.
Yeah, it was funny because
it was two shots. There were two shots.
You don't, huh?
There were two shots. She took 2 shots, right? One
No,
shot
she
hit
shot
him,
once.
and the second shot grazed her.
No, that
Well,
happened on the first shot.
I
There was
think.
only one shot. Yeah,
One
because if
shot
you notice,
through Owen
she
and
looks.
grazes Mel.
It went through Owen, and Mel looks behind her and sees the bullet hole in the cabinet, and then that's when she realizes that it grazed her, and she's been shot also.
Grazed her carotid artery.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
Or
that's all it takes.
I guess maybe part of me thinks that Ellie wouldn't have killed him simply because she was so shocked and didn't seem to want her to die. Before she knew she was pregnant, she seemed, you can even tell in that look right there that she was shocked and didn't intend to shoot her. I guess that's what makes
she didn't intend to shoot her with that shot. She couldn't find out about the map. Now they're both dead.
Right.
No one can tell her where Abby is. I think that's what the shock is. I don't think she really regretted shooting Mel until she saw she was pregnant. She was going to shoot Mel. She was going to shoot them both, right? But she was not. If she knew Mel was pregnant, she would not have shot her. She would have let a pregnant woman live, I think. Don't you?
Yes.
Yes.
That I agree with.
But I don't know. I kind of think she might have let her live regardless, but we'll never know.
I don't think so. I think she was going to shoot both of them. But now she can't. I took it as a shock. Like, I shot that shit. I had to shoot that guy. Oh, shit, I shot the other one. Now I'll never get the information.
Yeah, that's how I took it too.
Until she moves the coat and she's pregnant and she's not.
Yeah.
She's not
and she's
very.
telling her. Yeah.
Go ahead.
She's telling Ellie to save the baby, to cut it out, and Ellie doesn't know what to do. I mean, there's a big part of me that's just like screaming, Ellie, just try. Like, wouldn't you at least try? But I don't know that a lot of people could do that. Could you slice open somebody to try to cut their baby out? I don't know.
I mean, she was going to die.
What was she going to do if she succeeded? What the hell was she going to do? Like,
know,
I was actually yelling at the TV. I was yelling at the TV. I was like, what the fuck is she going to do even if she gets the baby out?
It would have been funny if she took the baby and then when Abby went to kill him, no, I have a baby. You can't kill me. That was never going to happen, but
you are correct. What was she going to do with a newborn baby? It would be ridiculous, right? But I thought she might try. I kind of was like, please try. Especially because I don't know if Marlene ever told Ellie about her birth, but Ellie was born out of violence it was a normal delivery, but her mother had been bitten. But it was sort of a violent, like not a great situation when she was born, right? And so I kind of thought she might try it. And the woman says transverse. And I was like, really, Ellie, you know what transverse means, right?
Well, I don't think Ellie's supposed to be real smart, so.
You're right. I don't think she is. And I don't think she paid attention in school. And she has told Dina that she wasn't good in school. But I thought she might try. And try and fail. Would I have liked the scene? Like, she doesn't try because she can't do it. And I was a little surprised, like, she's not trained in field medicine. Like, she goes on patrol. She should know a little bit of, okay, not how to do a C-section with a switchblade, but she should be able to do a little bit of field medicine. And the fact that she wouldn't even try, I
don't know if I could do it or not. Because then you think, well, what if you do it? What if you stab the baby trying to get it out? You know what I mean? Like, it's already dead anyway, but you could try.
The baby's going to die anyway, so you could try. Would I have liked that scene to be Ellie try and fail? She tries and she fails, and the baby's lost.
Yeah, I was fine with that. She didn't try.
Okay.
But that just.
And maybe that's consistent with Ellie's that person, and she's too scared to try. Yeah. She's really scared. Look, I'd be terrified also. If you were like dying on the floor and you were like, cut my baby out, I'd be like, what? I can't do it, right? But that woman was going to die.
You could have at least told Tommy, because Tommy came by like 2 seconds later, take her baby.
Or at least when the woman says, is it out? Like, Ellie, I was waiting for her to say, like, yes, it's a girl. Like, she didn't even give that woman.
It doesn't matter what she said. That she's out of it at that point. She's delulu.
She's so angry at Joel for not giving Eugene a peaceful last moment. And she doesn't give Mel Mel's like, is it out? And she could have just said yes. Like, she doesn't give, I know she was shell-shocked and couldn't do it, but she could have given Mel a peaceful end. Yeah, not peaceful, but be like, yeah, I got it out. It's fine. It's a boy. I was disappointed in Ellie.
I don't think Ellie had time to think that far.
I agree, but I was disappointed in her for not. And as Jamie says, she's not the smartest person, but I was like, I guess that's too much to expect from Ellie, or maybe from anyone in that situation, right? But Joel had really, I guess Joel had a long time to think about what he would tell Gail when he got home. And Ellie didn't have time to be like, Mel, yeah, it's fine. But I was a little disappointed that she didn't have that moment when Mel says, is it out? And she couldn't just say, yeah.
Yeah.
Ellie disappointed me in that scene.
I wasn't surprised by that scene at all. I would have been like, what do you want me to do?
All right. And you've probably actually seen a baby being born, and it's pretty horrifying, right?
That aside, I mean, I wouldn't have even tried. I would have been like, what do you expect me to do? I'm going to care for your kid after I just killed you? Like, you know,
We don't need to tell her that.
I mean, I love that shot. I thought Bella Ramsey was very good in the scene, and I thought the woman who plays Mel was good in the scene. Yeah.
And then Tommy and Jesse come up, and she's upset. I mean, she's crying because
Jesse looks like he cannot even believe that she shot a pregnant woman. Because we never see Ellie say it was an accident. I didn't mean to. She might have said it off screen, but we never see it. And in that moment in the moment where Tommy and Jesse show up and there's a dead pregnant woman on the floor who Ellie has clearly killed, you know.
I would still assume with how beside herself and how upset she was that she didn't do it intentionally, or she wouldn't be that.
It's another Ellie screw up. It
is. So they go back to Dina, and let's see.
They're going to go home.
They're going to go back, yeah. And Ellie agrees that she'll leave, finally. It just took her way too long, which is why it's pretty tragic that she finally agrees to leave. She does also have, she thanks, Tommy says that she won't get any revenge on Abby if she goes back. And she says she'll have to be okay with it, basically. And then she talks to Jesse. She thanks him for coming. And I think she asks him why he came, doesn't she? And he says something like, in the end, that he knows that if it was him, she would have came after him to save him.
He says, like,
you would have set the world on fire.
Set the world on fire trying to save me.
She's like, I would.
There was also, you kind of skipped over a little bit where Tommy says, like, I guess they have talked about the death of Owen and Mel, because Tommy says they played their part in it. They made their choices.
Exactly.
Like Owen, and I guess he means Owen chose to go for the gun. Like Owen could have just told Ellie what she wanted, but Owen chose to go for the gun, and Ellie had to shoot back.
Well, Owen also chose to go with Abby in the first place, probably because was in love with her, but that's another story.
Yeah, I'm guessing that too. All right, so they've made their peace, and of course, it ends up really tragic because they hear. I think they hear Tommy yell, don't they? They heard something.
I think they hear Tommy yell, and there's some scuffling in the shot, right?
So, yeah. I remember thinking like this was a trap to begin with. But yeah, they come out and she immediately shoots Jesse.
Bye, Jesse.
But that was awful. I mean, she didn't even look to see who it was. She just killed the person.
Well, we didn't see who shot at that time. We just saw that they run out and Jesse gets shot, right? We find out later.
We
didn't see Abby. We didn't see Abby at this point.
Well, Ellie comes out. I thought she shot him, and then she says he killed my friends.
After, I mean, there's all the scuffle, and they run out, and Jesse is taken down by a shot, and we don't really know who's attacking or where it's coming from. I mean, so Jamie,
I got the opinion she shot him because he shot Mel and Owen. I misunderstood.
I think she came in there shooting, and Jesse ran, and they were all run, and she just got.
Yeah, I might be thinking of when she said, "Don't kill Tommy," and she said,
I don't think she shot. I don't think she shot Jesse by accident. She was trying. Whoever at this point we didn't know
whoever's coming through that door.
But the person they were shooting, whoever was out there, we didn't know it was Abby yet, was shooting whoever came through that door, and Jesse came through the door to get shot. So the bigger question: Were you? I was surprised Jesse was killed. Were you surprised?
Yeah, I yelled, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, I was definitely surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised.
But yeah, it's Abby, and she is about to shoot Tommy, and Ellie comes out with her hands up.
And Abby's like, "Holy shit, it's you!" As every single person in the show is always like, "Holy shit, it's you!"
Yeah,
It's
and
almost,
she-
you know, and she says to her, she's like, "I let you live." You know, and that's the thing. I think everybody thinks because they let her live that she's supposed to be like, "Oh, thank you," and go about her day.
She's supposed to be
yeah,
so
she should've been,
grateful.
thank
Right?
you. You murdered my father in front of me. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
at least Joel didn't do it in front of you.
yeah, that's what she says. At least Joel didn't kill your father in front of you.
That was a really It's a surprising thing. It says a lot about Abby, I think, as a character who we don't know at all yet, but just I let you live. And as AJ said, and as Jamie, you feel and I feel, oh, I should be so grateful that you let me live. You beat my father to death in front of me, right? Oh, I let you live. I mean, Abby feels like she did this great magnanimous thing. This one, like, right? Like she's a great person or something.
Yeah, I'd like her to say you killed my father in front of me, and then she can be like, yeah, but you killed
My father, prepare to die.
My
Yeah,
name is
but
Nina
not-
Montoya.
I didn't make you watch. But the point is, she's going to kill Tommy, and she said that's where she says because he killed my friends, and she says no, I did. It was an accident. I didn't mean to, or something like
Well,
that.
she doesn't say it was an accident, but just I didn't mean to kill you.
She says
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
I came to kill. She's like, I came to kill you. I didn't come to kill them. I was like, I'm the one you want. You like
don't kill Tommy.
And then there's a gunshot, and it's black, and you don't know what happened.
If it was any other show or like a movie, I would have assumed that Dina came in and killed Abby, but we know that probably didn't happen either.
No, I think Dina came in and fired at Abby and missed, and like it gives Ellie a chance to dive for cover or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think Dina fired that shot. There's
Yeah.
no way Abby shot. Look, if Abby fires a shot, there's no way she misses Ellie. So there's no way the shot has to be Dina or Tommy. Maybe Tommy has a hidden gun on him on the ground. Maybe Jesse's not totally dead yet. Oh, he was shot in the head, right?
Yes, Jesse's dead. He has a bullet hole in his cheek. His eyes are wide open. The boy is dead.
Jesse's dead. So maybe Tommy, who is alive, has a gun, or maybe Dina hobbles in. And there's no way, right? Oh, you have a lot of good pictures of this.
Yeah, sorry. I went too fast.
Sorry, I started jumping to the end and you have all these really good pictures. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I just, I got pictures of this. So, yeah, but that is where it ends, is we see her saying, I let you live, and then she shoots at her.
I mean, do you think, I think Ellie, when she says, don't shoot him, it's me you want. I mean, I don't think Ellie really is giving her life for Tommy. I think Ellie is playing for time or hedging her bets, right?
Yeah, that I agree with. At this point, I think she definitely still intends to kill Abby. When it comes to Abby, there's no way she's leaving there without killing her, without trying to kill her. But she's like, at least she is like, don't kill Tommy. She's not like sometimes I wonder if Ellie would just be like, not even care because she's all her vengeance. Like she at least is trying to save Tommy. So I at least appreciate that she is. Saying that she's.
I don't know about that.
I don't think she's really willing to give her life up for him, but she's at least trying to save him.
I mean, she's saying don't kill Tommy, and yes, all things. The best scenario is for Tommy not be killed, but I think Ellie's trying to buy time to look. If she shoots Tommy, she's definitely still going to shoot Ellie. Like, I do think Ellie would she like to save Tommy? Yes. Is don't shoot Tommy part of her, like whatever is going on in her head to try to get the better of Abby? Yes. I don't know. What do you think, AJ?
I think it's you. Not saying this obviously, but you already killed my father. Please don't kill Tommy.
Yeah, okay. I kind of got that opinion.
That's kind of what She She doesn't want somebody else to die because of her either.
And and if there's any part of Joel still alive, it's Tommy who remembers him, and
and it's also like, I killed your friends, not him. You went after Joel because he killed your father. That's an eye for an eye, and now I'm going to get my eye for an eye. I killed your friends, not him, so there's no reason for him to die.
I mean, she also knows that Dina is barricaded in the back room by herself and can't get home by herself.
Very true.
You mean Ellie does? I don't think Abby.
Ellie knows that Dina is barricaded in the back room and can't get home alone and
Yeah.
needs help, right?
But yet she knew that and still went after Abby in the first place. But yeah.
Well, yeah.
If she had just turned around when she got strung up by the Seraphites, they would have probably been back before Abby got there, and they could have.
Yeah, they could have gotten away, but Ellie is selfish.
Yep. All right.
So
then after the shot rings out, we get Abby waking up, and whoops.
Okay, who was confused a little bit by this?
I was like, did she dream that whole thing?
Me too. I was like, wait. I was
confused too.
I was like, did Abby dream that she found Ellie, or did Ellie dream that she found Abby, or what's going on here?
Well, I mean, Abby wouldn't know that she needed to find Ellie, so
I know, but it was just a weirdo thing, right?
No, I agree.
Well, it definitely made me wonder if all of it was a dream, but and I'm curious if that book has any meaning, but I didn't look it up. Thieves of the City.
Oh, what's it called? Views of the City?
Thieves of the City.
Cleaves of the City?
Thieves, stealing, thieves.
I'm gonna Google it while we talk about it. By the way,
Ben Davider.
Did you talk about the book last week?
You'd have to remind me what book it was. I don't remember there being a book last week.
Is it City of Thieves? Is it Thieves of the City or is it City of Thieves?
Thieves of the City.
Oh, because City of Thieves is a different book.
It's by David, or it's by Ben, somebody that starts with David. Ben David something.
Thieves of the City. No, last week. Thieves of the City last. Or
it's I know what you mean. You mean I want to call it Earth C. It's not Earth C. The one we watched that show that I'm blanking on the name. That was about the apocalypse. That there's an Earth in the title.
Earth Abides. She's reading Earth
Abides. That's it.
Last week, we laughed at that.
Yeah, we did mention that. Yeah.
It's thieves in the city or thieves of the city.
Of the city.
Oh,
I don't think it matters.
My Google is trying to find a different book. Thieves. Yeah.
Thieves of the City by Ben David. Like the last name starts with David, Davidd, and I can't read the rest.
Well, it might be a play on a book called City of Thieves by David Benioff.
Oh, well, that makes sense. David, Ben. Maybe they can't do the title for some reason. Well, what's City of Thieves?
That's funny that it's by David Benioff, though.
That's why I figured.
City of Thieves novel. City of Thieves is a 2008 novel by David Benioff. It's a coming-of-age story set in World War II. So this is kind of a coming-of-age story set in I
don't know if it's meaning that book or not. I mean, considering the author could be reversed, like the title, it could be.
But anyway, the city, so
that's
not. Anyway.
Yeah, but I said if the other one's by David Ben something and that one's by Ben David something, it might be a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Abby goes outside and we see this huge place
and here's how we know it's a flashback. Yeah.
And we more know it's a flashback because it says Seattle Day 1.
That to me looks like a football stadium. I don't know if that's Fox. That's Seattle. I don't know if that's the Marin where the Seahawks play. Maybe
that's where the Seahawks play.
That's where the Seahawks play, right?
Yeah, that's not the baseball stadium. That's football.
I'm sorry. I meant to. I said baseball, but it's clearly a football stadium.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tend to think they probably really didn't film it at the stadium, but I don't know.
Could they have filmed the stadium? They probably shot this and then overlaid it from who knows, right?
Probably.
They shot the stadium, but I don't think there is no NFL stadium that's going to let you put that on their field.
Yeah, I know. So,
no, it's all.
We probably took shots of.
And then they shot someplace else and overlaid it. Yeah.
Not painting with it. Yeah. All right. So there we go.
That really pissed me off. When I saw Seattle Day 1, I was like, mother.
Yeah, I was
going to go back and show Abby's, and I forgot that I didn't realize it was even out. Like next week, I got to watch Abby's 3 days. What? I'm pissed, right? Who cares?
I wish you were right.
And now it's next year.
Yeah, I really wish you were right with that it was next week.
So since this is the last episode, should we talk about like what you guys really liked or didn't like or remember about this second season?
Sure.
I mean, we all hate the loss of Joel, although we did get a great Joel flashback episode, right?
Yeah, last week was awesome.
I know. I'm so sorry.
I think was my favorite episode.
Yeah,
Definitely
I
my
didn't find
favorite.
it awesome.
You didn't, AJ. When we come off the air, I want to talk to you guys for like 5 minutes about it. I thought it was.
Well, we could. I mean, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. We can talk about it now as an over. I mean, we're talking overall.
I mean,
I'll tell you, Karen. The reason I didn't like last week's episode was because it was an entire flashback. The whole episode was flashback.
Oh, okay. So
I would have preferred. I liked the things that were in the flashback. I would have preferred flashbacks sprinkled through the season, not all at once.
I mean, I had long speculated that the estrangement of Ellie and Joel was about Seattle, and it turns out it's not really about that. It's about Eugene, right? And they're like
Utah.
estranged. Eugene, is that his name?
No, I said Utah.
Utah.
The Firefly place was.
It was in Utah. It wasn't in Seattle. It was in Utah. You're at Salt Lake. I had long thought that she knew about Salt Lake, and that's what she's mad about. It turns out what she's really mad about is Eugene. And she only.
Okay, no, I definitely disagree with that.
You found out that night, the porch scene.
She finds out much later, but she finds out much later about. She finds out much late. Like she's mad at him. She moves into.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
She moves
the whole time
leading up to
that. Gotcha.
She's mad at him for 2 years about Eugene. She moves into the garage about Eugene. It's Eugene the whole time that she's mad about. Wait. She only finds out about Salt Lake the last night. The last night, right?
Okay. I'm misunderstanding what you mean, but I definitely took it that when he lied about Eugene and she said, you promised, that was when she realized absolutely he lied about Salt Lake. That was when she knew for sure. And that was when it broke her. It's like she knew all along and just hadn't accepted it, hadn't admitted it.
She had been suspicious.
Yeah, and as soon as he lied about killing Eugene, then it was over. She knew for sure. And
I don't know if she knew for sure, but that's when she knew that he would lie about stuff.
That's when she questioned
him. Said you promised or something like that. It was in reference to that.
He promised. She's like, he looked at me. He did say, I promise I won't shoot Eugene, and they shot Eugene. I do think that he made the right decision. Like, we haven't talked about that. I think that he shouldn't have promised her, but shooting Eugene was the right call.
I kind of agree, because I think if he had brought him back, his wife would have been begging him not to kill him and blah, blah, blah.
No, but I think you never know how long it takes to turn. And Ellie's like, he has an hour, let's go. But does he have an hour? Do you really know? Are you a scientist? You don't know, right? And you're going to tie up a muncher and put it on the back of your horse and hope that he isn't turned before you get there? Like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ellie was going off of what they did with her, and she's immune. That's all she was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, the cameo was great. That was.
Yeah, because Marlene did that in season 1, right?
But I'm just saying, Joey Pants was.
Oh yeah.
Was a great cameo.
Oh, it's a cameo.
Real quick, Muncher wants to know who these writers are, and if there's an official couch potato complaint he can make. Well, Muncher, one of the writers is the creator of, or two of the writers are the creators of the game. So I don't know how much.
Fair enough. Not even sad violin music with his death.
I don't know how much sway Druckmann and his partner have over
music.
Over what's his face, but
yeah, Jesse. I mean, Jesse became a great character in this episode to be killed in this episode.
It was his redemption story.
Yeah.
Oh wait, this isn't Lost.
Yeah. I mean, all right, so redemption story. So we have talked a lot about this being a vengeance story for this season, right? And how I have been. In fact, a friend of mine was asking me today. So today I drove home from my vacation, and I was like, "Oh, when I get home, I got to watch 2 hours of TV. Do that, right?" I was rushing to watch The Last of Us and do this with you tonight. And in the car, my friend said, "What's The Last of Us?" So I was trying to explain to her what it is. And I got to the part where I felt like season 2 was really a vengeance story. And is that a story I want to watch? Is that a story I can recommend to someone? And it's not wholly about vengeance, is it? I don't know. Ellie is driven by vengeance. Abby's driven by vengeance. Ellie's driven by vengeance.
I feel ultimately it's it's a story about trying to break the cycle of violence, because we get
Yeah.
that flashback
Yes.
of Joel and his dad, and his dad says, hopefully you do it, and he tells his story about his own father, and he says to Joel, hopefully you do a little bit better than I did, which Joel says the same thing to Ellie. So
that's when I texted you. I think I'm gonna cry. I agree with you, but I also think a little bit of this story. Now I lost my train of thought here. Like, is it a vengeance story? Is it about like doing better? Is it about what you'll do to? Where was I going with that? Was it a story of vengeance? Ellie's vengeance, or is it a story about Ellie kind of? Oh, so is Ellie driven by her vengeance against Abby? Or is Ellie's is Ellie's anger against Abby just about having to see him being beaten to death? Or is it about her regrets about how she treated him for the last 2 years? Like, she was so angry at Joel for 2 years over Eugene. And then the last night, she's like, I'd like to try to forgive you. And Abby took that away from her. Like, Abby took away, Ellie can never take away what she did, how she treated Joel. They did have a great, that last night where she's like, I can't forgive you, I like to try, but Abby took away the chance for Ellie to make things better with Joel. So yes. I kind of feel like, is it just about her killing Joel, or is it about Abby robbing Ellie of the chance to make things better with Joel? Right? Like, there's two layers.
Yeah, I think it's all of that.
Yeah.
Like, when you lose a parent, you have regrets. Always, of course, but Ellie's regrets are on a whole other level.
Right.
I mean, I loved the way they played last week's episode at the end, like where you find out that, because we had previously seen where Ellie leaves New Year's Eve, and she looks at Joel and she walks away, and we thought that was it. And now we find out she came back around the house and they had this whole talk, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like that really played into, having watched that, it played into a lot of how her actions are maybe going forward after that.
Yeah, a lot of people are not happy that they put that in. And I am, and I agree with you. Again, I'm not a gamer.
Well, is that not in the game? That's not in the game.
It is.
Finding out,
end of the game.
You finding out that she had that conversation with him, that she wanted to try forgiving him, that she did get that. I mean, no, it wasn't the best conversation, but at least it was, towards that end. You get that at the very end of the game. So you don't know, you think through the whole game, they never even got to talk. But
so they bumped it up.
In the scope of a television show, people aren't going to wait that long. And I agree. I think that it was good to change it, but I'm not.
But you didn't play the game, so you don't really know,
so I might feel differently if I had played the game.
So now I'm seeing another reason why somebody like Muncher Luncher is not angry, just not happy with the way this season played out, because that's the thing they hold from you in the game, and we've got it up front here.
Right.
I mean, in terms of the show, the way they played it out, it worked for me. I mean, AJ, you didn't like last week's episode, but did that work for you?
Yeah, I was okay with, I love the scene and everything. Like I said, I liked everything that happened in the episode. I just didn't like the fact that it was an entire episode.
All in one. Yeah.
I like my flashbacks sprinkled in. I generally don't like entire flashback episodes, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it worked for Andor because of where we were at in the story, and it wasn't entirely flashback. They juxtaposed back and forth.
Yeah.
That, episode 10.
Yes. So a whole flashback episode. And look, are we going to get a whole episode's flashback season next year? Probably not, but at least 3 episodes,
No.
3 days. Like, Ellie had 3 days. Will Abby get 3 days? Like, I guess we got to trust these guys. Like, they did a great first season. Even gamers like the first season, right? Second season that I think TV only like us really like. Gamers we got to wait and see what they can do. We got to trust them, right?
Yeah. I think people should give them a chance.
I mean, look, there are people I don't trust to do a third season. There are shows that are bad. I'm like, no way. Right? But these guys have done an okay job.
Yeah, like the 100. We didn't trust 100.
I'm just more don't like that we have to wait that long. And like I said, I'm worried about Ellie not being in it. I'm worried that they're going to lose more viewers. I don't know.
Well, we're not sure Ellie won't be in it. We're saying if Ellie's not in it, that would be bad, right? Like
I don't see how Ellie can be
in it. Like Jamie,
unless
like a bunch of flashbacks to Abby would really hurt the show if we don't see Bella Ramsey.
Well,
3, 4, 5, 6.
I don't know if I'd call it flashbacks.
We don't know, but we don't know.
Abby's perspective.
Abby's POV, yes.
I guess I'm just saying I think that they should have split it up and done both of the perspectives.
I agree with you.
Like how AJ thinks that they should have done the flashbacks for Joel throughout the season.
I agree to a point, but after talking with Artie, I understand why it's, and that's the thing with the gamers is it's very different because in the game, you don't know who Abby is, or you don't find out who Abby is or why she killed Joel until you start playing as her again.
So we have more information that in the game that right now you have none of that information.
Which I agree that it was good that the show did that because I feel like a lot, it's funny because Artie keeps saying they don't trust their audience, and I agree with him to a point. It's just I think we've become so used to the way it is, and we've seen what happens to audiences. TV shows have gotten canceled for less because of stuff like that. And so I agree with what he's saying that if you can't trust your audience, then why are you even bothering to make it? Because you lose some of the story essence and the way and what captivated people in the first place when you change things in that way to make it more for the general masses. And we've talked about this on numerous occasions about changing things for the general masses that have upset us throughout the years over different shows.
All right, so let's go to ML in the chat. I just feel like there is no payoff whatsoever to the plight of our protagonists. There are literally no character arcs. I get it. Life isn't fair and ish happens, but this is TV. Captivate me, damn it. I get that. There's no payoff to the plight of, like, Ellie has such plot armor that you don't ever think that there was no payoff to her meeting the Seraphites. There was no payoff to her.
That episode, that part was
in any situation.
That's not true. That train situation, we know Ellie can't die, but that was intense when they were in the train car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was intense.
And like the whole thing with Ellie and Dina and Jesse, and now Jesse's dead, right? I don't know if Jesse gets killed in the game right now. Maybe he does. But Jesse being killed is like there's no payoff to the three of them being co-parenting or just friends or a love triangle or whatever it was. There's no. They just killed.
Killed Jesse. You could have had a spinoff.
Well, okay.
I'm kidding.
But you could have had Ellie have to accommodate another person in her life. Like for Ellie to be involved with Dina and also have Jesse, that could have been a thing for Ellie to have to grow a little bit, right? But instead they take away the obstacle for Ellie to have any
be fair
person.
I don't think the story gets to that point. I think
the game doesn't get there, but the show obviously has a bigger scope. And if we're going to complain about character arcs, then we need to give our characters more than they get in the game, right?
What I'm saying is, I don't think the story has 9 months of legs.
Oh, sure, but I think I don't necessarily want to see that baby born, but I'd like to see Ellie and Dina and Jesse jockey for a co-parenting, co-pregnancy relationship, the three of them, right? Like we had a point where Jesse, it's almost like Jesse has that conversation where he says like, oh, I get it. You guys are in love. I fell in love. All this happened. It's like he almost gives Ellie permission and then he dies, right? Like
that's a nice send-off.
Yeah, but isn't complicated more interesting always?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying.
Like keeping him there and having that be
we
complicated.
got
is
we got
interesting.
we got enough complications to deal with already.
I
Yeah.
guess, but no character arcs. Fair. Like, are there too many? I mean, in the game, they send Tommy along with Tommy goes with Ellie, right? I don't know if Dina and Jesse ever show up. I'm not really sure, but there's a lot of
No,
people
Tommy
there.
goes off. Tommy goes off on his own. Ellie and Dina go after Tommy, and then Jesse goes after all three of them.
Oh, okay. So they're all. That's a very big change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The only part, the only part of it that's really a big change is Tommy going first.
Yeah.
I guess Jesse
It's
saving
kind of levels, though.
Jesse saving Ellie is in that scene is in the game.
I think what ML Munlun is saying is like there are not feeling a payoff from these characters arcs are not growing as much as they would like to see. Again,
Well,
having not watched the game, I'm 100% down with frustration of a gamer not seeing the storyline.
Yeah.
I can only judge it based on what I see on the screen.
Exactly.
Well, I'm disappointed the season is over. 6 episodes is really frustrating, right?
7.
7? This was episode 7?
Yeah.
7 is equally bad. Could we get 10? I don't know. Anyway, now we gotta wait.
I feel the same. I feel the same way about Doctor Who.
I know, right?
We're only getting 8.
Now we'll wait for the show to be written. And so I think that I don't know. I'm going to speculate here. In the future, we won't see any more of Pedro Pascal because we like the flashbacks of Joel have reached the end of the storyline. There's no reason he should ever come back, right?
I wouldn't say
that was emotionally satisfying.
We've already seen,
and that is done. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the show. I know obviously the game people don't, but I've enjoyed it. I like the first season more. I'm not going to lie. But I mean, I think that's because it did focus on their relationship. But that being said, I still really enjoyed this season. I'm sad to see it end. I don't know how I feel. Like I said, I don't know. Will a seasonal Abby suck? I don't know. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and see how it goes. But as of right now, I feel no empathy for her. And I don't know that I can. I mean, I guess I probably will eventually, but it's kind of like the dilemma with like Dead City. Like you have to get over Negan being the bad guy. You know what I mean? And not that you're ever going to get over what Abby did, but if you're going to enjoy the show, I guess you kind of got to accept it because otherwise it probably is going to suck. So I don't know.
I mean, I agree that I've said flat out, not just in Abby, don't care about Abby. And I agree, Jamie, that it's going to be hard to, like, we're going to have will we have a Abby point of view of those 3 days? We got day 1. It's only going to be a 3-day. Will we get Abby's point of view? And is there a way for them to make her a sympathetic character? Not sympathetic, or a character that we don't hate, or the character, look, I don't have to like her, but I'd like to understand her. Right. Yeah. And is that going to happen? Or it'll make her even more like, please let Ellie kill her. I don't know. AJ,
right now I'm kind of rooting for that.
You have any thoughts on that, AJ? You might know a little more because of.
No, I don't really. But no, I agree with what you said. I mean, right now Abby's the worst. Do we feel differently about her after getting her perspective? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will restart this show in 2026, 2027, 2028. Who knows? Right?
Yep. Yeah, we'll be back at some point for that. And until then, please come back at 11 o'clock for AJ and I are going to be reviewing and breaking down the Librarians, the next chapter, the first 2 episodes. And of course, we're having a watch party here in a couple minutes. for the first episode. And
maybe I'll join you. Maybe I'll come in. I haven't seen it.
Cool. We're only going to get through one though, because there was 2
right.
episodes. But I think you're
Well,
fine.
if we're starting at 11, you better start now because
Yeah, I know. Well, we're good. We can go. But yeah, join us for that now in Discord, and then at 11 we'll have our live stream for Librarians, and then of course you can join us on Monday for Dead City at 9 and Murderbot at 11 or at midnight. Sorry, Murderbot's at midnight. And our roundup show on Tuesday at 10. So please
don't go. Luncher, don't go. Join us. We love you. Join us.
Yes, come join the watch party. I need to at least be there.
And come Tuesday for our regular show.
Access. We miss you on Fandom Access. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you guys come.
Yep.
Because next
I'm
week,
really
Tuesday,
upset Fletch didn't come
Doctor
tonight.
Who season finale, so.
I know. Fletch is not here.
Fletch was with us Tuesday night.
Fletcher and Michael were going to be here and they weren't, but.
All right, but it's okay. It's not that we don't like Muncher, and we're happy to be here.
We're glad that you are here.
This has been a great show. I like doing this with you guys. Thank you. We'll do it again next time in the next few years.
Yes.
All right.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, we'll be back, or we'll probably be doing other shows before then, I'm sure too. So let me know in Discord what other shows you guys want us to cover. We will see you soon.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Bye bye.